Hey, Bart Nollenberger, Executive Director of the John Maxwell team. So we've been talking about developing the leader within You 2.0, that great leadership study by John Maxwell. And I'm sure you've watched my other courses where I've talked about doing leadership trainings for a number of companies. And we're on chapter 1 of that study. And chapter 1 says, leadership is influence, nothing more, nothing less. We talked about the 5 levels of leadership. And in chapter 1, it talks about that the number 1 level of leadership is position. But before we go any farther on the different levels, I'd like to talk a little bit about what is influence, since the whole chapter really is based on influence. Well, according to Webster's, what better way to figure out what influence is, right? Webster says it's the capacity to have an effect on the character, development, or behavior of someone or something, or the effect itself. So I want to back up with that because that's just gold. The capacity to have an effect on the character development or behavior of someone or something, or the effect itself. So what that really means for you and I as leaders is, as when we talked last week about that positional leader, do they change character development? Do they change people? Do they have an effect on them? Chances are they do not. That positional leader, frankly, is the one that other people are talking about when they're at the bar having a drink about how bad that manager is. So what you and I get is we need to look at the other levels to grow as a leader. And let's talk a little bit about level 2 because it's one of my favorites. Level 2, according to John, is permission. Now, what's permission? That means you and I have such connection with our people. We know what makes them tick. We know their strengths. We know their weaknesses. We know who they are. We know what their obstacles are. We know what they want, and we know why they want it. Now that sounds pretty deep, doesn't it? But that's where leadership happens when we know our people so well. Now, as John says, they don't want to know how much you know until they know how much you care. And as Zig Ziglar once said, you can get anything you want if you help enough people get what they want. So knowing your people, connecting with them, getting permission from them to connect means they'll follow you. And you're an incredible, let me say it, you're an incredible permission leader when you can connect to your people. We'll talk to you next time. Hey, by the way, if you want leadership training for your group, hit me below on the link, connect with me, and or one-on-one coaching. Would love to talk to you. Just hit that link below and we will talk.